Hello, this is Krystal Stanich, and thank you for joining me for this week's First Chapter Friday. Today I will be reading from the beginning of Travis Baldree's Legends and Lattes. For anyone who wondered where the other road led. Prologue. Viv buried her greatsword in the Scalvart's skull with a meaty crunch. Black blood thrummed in her hands, and her muscular arms strained as she tore it back and out in a spray of gore. The Scalvart Queen gave a long, vibrating moan, and then thundered to the stone in a heap. With a sigh, Viv slumped to her knees. The persistent twinge in her lower back flared up, and she dug in the knuckles of one huge hand to chase it away. Wiping sweat and blood from her face, she stared down at the dead queen. Cheers and shouts echoed from behind her. She leaned closer. Yes, there it was, right above the nasal cavity. The beast's head was twice as wide as she was, all improbable teeth and uncountable eyes, with a huge, unslung jaw, and in the middle, the fleshy seam she'd read about. Jamming her fingers into the fold, she pried it open. A sickly golden light spilled out. Viv slid her whole hand into the pocket of flesh, curled her fist around a faceted organic lump, and yanked. It came free with a fibrous, ripping sound. Finnis moved to stand behind her. She could smell his perfume. Is that it, then? He asked, only a little interested. Yep. Viv groaned as she hoisted herself to her feet, using black blood as a crutch. Without bothering to clean the stone, she stuffed it into a pouch on her bandolier, then propped the greatsword on her shoulder. And that's truly all you want? Finnis squinted up at her. His long, beautiful face was amused. He gestured at the walls of the cavern, where the Scalvart Queen had entombed untold wealth within sheets of hardened saliva. Wagons, chests, and the bones of horses and men hung suspended amidst gold, silver, and gemstones, the shiny castaways of centuries. Yep, she said again. We're square. The rest of the party approached. Rune, Tavis, and little Galena brought with them the exhausted but exultant chatter of the victorious. Rune combed muck from his beard. Galena sheathed her daggers, and Tavis glided behind them both, tall and watchful. They were a good crew. Viv turned away and strode toward the cavern's entrance, where dim light still filtered through. Where are you going? Hollered Rune in his rough, affable voice. Out. But aren't you gonna? Began Galena. Someone shushed her, most likely Finnis. Viv felt a prick of shame. She liked Galena the most, and probably should have taken the time to explain. But she was done. Why drag things out? She didn't really want to talk about it, and if she said anything more, she might change her mind. After 22 years of adventuring, Viv had reached her limit of blood and mud and bull, and Ark's life was strength and violence and a sudden, sharp end. But she'd be damned if she let hers finish that way. It was time for something new. And if you would like to know what Viv does next, you can check this title out on the Libby app. Please join me here in 2 weeks when I read from the beginning of Robin Hobb's Ship of Magic. Thank you and have a great week.